Okay, 10 questions and answers about how to start a podcast. What is a podcast? A podcast is an audio program you can stream or download online. It's like a radio show, but more personal and flexible. Podcasts can focus on news, interviews, storytelling, education, or entertainment. You can listen anytime while driving, walking, or working out. How do you start a podcast? Uh, Start by choosing a theme or topic you're passionate about. Then plan your first few episodes. Choose a catchy name and record your content using a microphone and audio software. Finally, upload your episodes to a podcast hosting platform so listeners can find you on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Do you need expensive uh, equipment to begin? Not at all. Many successful podcasters start with simple setups. You can use a USB microphone, basic headphones, and free editing tools like Audacity or GarageBand. GarageBand. Over time, as your audience grows, you can upgrade your gear for better sound quality. How do you choose the right topic for your podcast? Pick something that excites you has long-term potential. For example, talk about psychology, fitness, personal growth, movies, or technology, whatever you truly enjoy. The more passionate you are, the more engaging your episodes will sound. How long should each episode be? There's no strict rule. Short podcasts, 10, 20 minutes, work well for tips or reflections, while longer ones, 45, 60 minutes. I write to I write for interviews and deep discussions. What matters most is keeping your audience interested from start to finish. What makes a podcast successful? Success comes from being authentic and consistent. Speak naturally. Share valuable insights and upload regularly. A good sound quality, a clear message, and a personal touch help you stand out. Building a loyal audience takes time and honesty. How can you grow in your podcast audience? Promote your episodes on social media, create short clips for Instagram or TikTok, and invite guests with similar audience. Encourage listeners to share, leave reviews, and interact with you. Connection builds a community. Should you write a script or speak freely? It depends on your style. Having a script or outline helps your style organized and confident. However, speaking freely adds energy and personality. A mix of both structure with spontaneity usually work best. What are some common challenges for new podcasters? Many struggle with self-doubt, lack of time, or technical issues at first. It's normal, don't aim for perfection. Focus on learning, improving, and enjoying the process. Consistency is what turns beginners into great podcasters. What's the best advice for anyone who wants to start today? Just start. Don't overthink it. The first episodes won't be perfect, and that's okay. Every great podcasters began somewhere. Stay curious, be yourself, and keep showing up. Your voice will inspire more people than you imagine. Canon Write by Charles Bukowski, Chapter 24, Part 3. reflect interest or intelligence. He had large feet and his mouth always hung open. When he spoke the words, can 001 be 0 by not 1, halting, with long pauses in between. He wasn't even a sissy. Nobody ever spoke to him. Nobody knew now. Nobody know what he was doing during our school. He gave the impression that something important was missing from his makeup. He wore clean clothing, but his shirt was always out in the back. One or two buttons were gone on his shirt or on his pants. Richard White, uh, he lived somewhere and he came to school every day. Thumb, 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 thumb. Richard White was jerking off. A salute to Miss Grace. Thighs and legs he had finally weakened. Perhaps he didn't understand society ways. Now we all heard him. Miss Grace heard him. The girls heard him. We all now will know what they was doing, what he was doing. He was so fucking dumb. He didn't even have senses, sense enough to keep it quiet, and he was becoming more and more excited. The dance grew louder. His closed fist was hitting the underside of his desktop. Thumb, thumb, thumb. We look at Miss Grace. What would she do? She he he hesitated. She glanced about the class. She smiled as composite as ever, and then she continued speaking. I believe that the English language is the most expressive and contagious form of communication. To begin with, we should be thankful that we have this unique gift of a great language. And if we abuse it, we are only abusing ourselves. So let us listen, heed, acknowledge, acknowledge our heritage, and yet explore and take risk with language. Thumb. We must forget England and their use of our common tongue, even though even though English usage is fine. Our own American language contains many deep wells of unexplored resource. These resources as yet remain untapped, given the proper moments and the proper writers. And there will one day be a literal explosion. Thumb. Yes, Richard White was one of the few we never talked to. Actually, we were afraid of him. He wasn't somebody you could beat the shit out of that would never make anybody feel better. You just want to get as far away from him as possible. You didn't want to look at him. You didn't want to look at those big lips, that big unfolding mouth like the mouth of a bruised frog. You shunned him because you couldn't defeat Richard White. We waited and waited while Miss Grace talked on about English versus American culture. We waited while Richard White went on and on. Richard first banged against the underside of his desk top, and the little girls glanced at each other, and the guys were thinking, why is the asshole in the class with us? He's going to spoil everything. One asshole and Miss Grace will pull her skirt down forever. Thumb. And then he stopped. Richard's up there. He was finished. With naked glances at him. He looked the same. Was his spear laying in his lap or was it in his hand? The background English class was over. After that, there was more of the same. Richard Wade dumped it off them while we listened and while, while we listened to Miss Grady's sitting on the front desk with her legs crossed high. We boys accepted the situation. After a while, we even were amused. The girls accepted it, but and they didn't like it, especially Lily Fishman, who was almost forgotten.